Oh, hello sophomores, it's Mr. Pond again. We're going to go over some of the tools that we went over a couple weeks ago. We have our snips, reds, our rights, greens, our lefts, and yellows are straight. We also have a sheet metal hammer, we have a file, we have a scratch awl or a scribe, straight edge, so we can draw straight lines, cold chisel, combination square, an inside reading ruler, that sheet metal is used in the trade. We have our center punch, and also we have dividers. Now they come in different sizes. These are the three different ones. These two big ones do big radiuses for big diameter circles, and we also have a small one so we can do our small diameter circles. So right here I have a couple pieces of scrap sheet metal. What I'm going to do is I am going to find the center. So I'm going to take my straight edge and my scratch awl, and I'm going to go from corner to corner. So we're going to go from corner to corner and put a line. We're going to go on this side, do the same thing, corner to corner, and same thing, right? Now we have a little X in the middle. So this one also we're going to do because we're going to cut our circles with our snips. So there's our first line. And we put a right there and our second line. Okay, so we made an X in the middle. That determines our center point. So now we're going to grab our center punch and our sheet metal hammer, and we're going to make it a little indentation right at the X so our dividers can sit in it. So now, if I want to draw a 6-inch diameter circle, I'm going to have to set my dividers at 3 inches, which is half the diameter. So if I want a 6-inch circle, I'm going to set this for 3 inches. So I'm going to put it on the 1 mark, and it should go to the 4. As we can measure this on the ruler. Like that. So now we have 3 inches. Okay, let's close up our rule. So now we're going to put it right in the middle. We did our center punch, and we're just going to scribe a circle. You can turn your piece if you'd like, whichever which way you feel comfortable. Make sure that center point doesn't move. You want to be able to see your line very well. Makes it easier to cut. Same thing on this side. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the center in the middle, and we do a circle, 6-inch diameter circle. So I'm going to show you the directions that the snips cut. Okay, so that we're all done. So when we're done with our dividers, we close them up. This way nobody can get stabbed with them. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate the reds, which are rights. You start off on the left side, but we end up cutting to the right. So I'm going to demonstrate on this. If you can see here, this side right here of the snip is where all the scrap metal is going to come up. Okay, and it'll twirl just like a little curlicue tail. So I'm going to stop. I am not going to go all the way. If you do go all the way and press down all the way down, it's going to leave you a little dimple, which is not going to be a clean cut. So you have to go over and file it. So what we do is we put our snips in and just take 1/4-inch cuts, very small cuts. As you can see, I'm holding the sheet metal on the table. As you can see, it's starting to roll up. When it gets a little bit big, I want to cut it off. This way it's not in my way. So I'm going to continue cutting. As you can see, I'm not closing the snips all the way, so we don't leave any dimples, okay, or any fish hooks, as I like to call them. We don't want to leave fish hooks because that causes injuries, and we do not want to have injuries. So we're just going to finish cutting our snip. So if I was to go further, you would see it's actually working itself to the right. Okay. And there is our 6-inch diameter circle. Now I did go down on it once and I left a little lip. So I'm going to take my file And when we file, we always file in one direction. We do not go up and down. Files are not meant to work up and down. They're meant to go one direction. So you're going to take it and go forward, just like that. So I had that little dimple there, and now it's gone. So I'm going to check my other piece. Check it. Looks nice. No more dimples. Okay, so that was the reds. Now I'm going to demonstrate the greens, which are lefts. Now this side, you can tell the difference. This side is on the left, and this one is on the right, where the scrap metal is going to come up. Okay, so this time we're going to start this way, and we cut that way. Okay, which means to the left. So we're just going to start our cut. Again, small cuts, 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch. That's all you want. Again, you don't want to close the snips. It will leave that little dimple, which you want to have your sheet metal nice and clean, dent free. So if you want, you just cut that off. So we go back to it. Again, as you see, I did not close my snips. I just go around slowly. Again, you got to hold your piece down so it doesn't move. And it gives you a much better cut. Now I do prefer the reds. I work a little faster cutting with the reds, but if you can do it just the reds that way, you can do the greens this way. Okay? Again, here's a 6-inch diameter circle. Again, I have just a little edge on there. I'm going to take my file and one way. You're only going one way with it. We don't do that. So we want to go one way and take off any little sharp edges that we have. Okay? So we don't want to stab anybody if we give this as a gift or something on your project. Okay? So now I'm going to demonstrate the yellows. Now the yellows are for straight cutting. Okay? Either way you can hold them. Doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my combination square and I'm going to draw some straight lines on this piece. So I'm going to take my scribe again and just, that's a perfect 90-degree line. So you want to make sure your metal is off the table, and metal is up against metal here. It makes a nice perpendicular line. So if we want to do it again, we just put it there, and we scribe once. Okay? So now we're going to use the straights, and we're going to cut. So I'm going to turn it this way so my piece can come up this way. Makes it easier to cut. So again, holding it down. You can't cut circles with this, but we recommend that you use the reds or the greens to cut. So this is very handy to have in your toolbox, just in case you don't have any other snips. You can always rely on these. Okay, so we've already demonstrated the scratch awl, combination square, sheet metal hammer, snips, ruler, and our dividers. Now we have a cold chisel. Okay, so this is meant to cut rod, if you're brazing rod. But what we do is we mark wherever we want. I'm just going to pick a spot on here. So I'm going to take my cold chisel, put it on, and it cuts it. Okay? So just like when we were doing the hots last year, we cut off those curves from the scroll, and with the cold chisel, we did it on the anvil. I just did it here because it's a real thin wire. Okay? So that is how these tools operate, and we use these in the shop all the time. Okay? Thank you for watching, and watch my next video.